Let me introduce myself. I am Dr. Thelma, Assistant Professor in Economics, Bishop Heber College, Trichy. In this video, I am going to introduce a topic, protective trade policy, which is an important fundamental concept of international economics. The term protection refers to a policy whereby domestic industries are to be protected from foreign competition. The aim is to impose restrictions on the imports of low-priced products in order to encourage domestic industries producing high-priced products. The domestic industries may be protected by imposing import duties which raise the price of foreign goods by more than the price of domestic goods, or they may be protected by quotas or other non-tariff restrictions which make imports of cheap foreign goods difficult. The free trade policy of Adam Smith was challenged by the 18th century economists like Alexander Hamilton, Frederick Lewis, and H.C. Gray. Definition: H.D. Johnson defines protection as policies that create a divergence between the relative prices of commodities to domestic consumers and producers and the relative prices in world markets. Arguments for protection. Haberle has divided the arguments for protection in two groups, economic and non-economic arguments. First, we will discuss the economic arguments. Terms of trade argument. Terms of trade is followed to correct the disequilibrium in balance of payment of a country. It is argued that imposition of tariff improves the rate at which the country's exports are exchanged for imports. It is said that foreign investor or trader is forced to pay some tax. The extent of imposition of trade depends upon the demand elasticity and supply elasticity. There are certain diverse effects on the tariff imposing country. Firstly, terms of trade may improve, but the volume of trade and the tariff imposing country is reduced. Secondly, the imposition of tariff increases the price of the imported commodity to the domestic consumer. Thirdly, it may lead to retaliation by the other country. Second, bargaining or retaliation argument. Imposition of tariff is necessary to bargain the trade negotiations with other countries. Since international trade is based on reciprocal basis, tariff is used as a weapon to persuade the other country to lower its tariff wall. But tariff as a weapon may lead to retaliation on the part of other country, thereby harming both the countries. Anti-dumping argument. Protection is advocated against dumping. Dumping aims at flooding a foreign market with low price commodities. As a result, import competing firms are ruined. To protect these firms, high tariff is imposed. This will raise the price of commodities in the importing country and removes the threat of dumping. Diversification argument. An important argument in support of protective tariff is diversification of industries or balanced growth of the economy. All the industries or sectors in the economy should be given equal importance so that distortions from abroad will not affect the domestic economy. Key industries argument. Key industries are nothing but basic core industries of a country. Key industries include agriculture, iron and steel, heavy engineering, chemicals, heavy electricals, cement, machine tools, petroleum, etc. They open up the possibilities of developing other industries in the economy. Employment argument. Protective trade is a cure for unemployment. The imposition of tariff reduces imports and encourages employment directly in import competing industries. This in turn generates employment in the import substitution industries. Balance of payments argument. Protective trade policy. Tariffs reduce imports and thereby reduce the balance of payment deficit. It also assists the less developed countries in conserving foreign exchange reserves. Sunset industries. This is a recent argument for protection which has emerged in Europe. From 1970s, some established labor-intensive industries like textiles, clothing, footwear, etc. were losing competitiveness to Japan, Taiwan, Malaysia, Korea, India and East Asian countries. Protection was given to those industries to re-equip and regain competitiveness. Conservation of national resources argument. Countries with export minerals always have a fear that their exports would ultimately exhaust them. Protection of such resources are essential to conserve them for the development of their country. Pauper labor argument. In advanced countries, to safeguard the interests of labor, protection is advocated. Wage rates widely differ from country to country. In view of such differences, the products of high wage countries cannot compete with the products of low wage countries through what is termed as use of pauper labor. Keeping money at home argument. When we buy manufactured goods from abroad, we get the goods and the foreigner gets money. On the other hand, when we buy goods domestically, we get both goods as well as money. Infant industry argument. This idea was first formulated by Alexander Hamilton in 1790 and was popularized by Frederick List in 1885. This argument rests on the assumption that the country has a latent comparative advantage in the industry or group of industries to be protected. Infant industries require time to undergo the process of learning by doing to become competitive in the long run. Infant industries need protection for a while so that they may grow without any threat from foreign producers. When they attain adulthood, protection can be withdrawn and they must be left free to face the foreign competition. This is explained with the help of the following graph. In this graph, the video also explains how we can draw the graph. We measure wheat on the x-axis cloth. SS is the production possibility curve. T1, T2 are the terms of trade lines, and C1, C1, C2 are the communities indifference curves. So the equilibrium points are marked in red, and these points tell the community's welfare. See, the infant industries are protected. As a result, there is an increase in the production and they go to the higher level, and which is shown by point E2. Criticisms. Difficult to identify infant industry. Protection will be taken back when the industries reach adulthood. There is difficulty in defining the adulthood. Infant industries grown up as big monopolists do not want to lose the benefits of protection. Development of infant industries will not lead to internal and external economies of production. Infant industry argument is not applicable to the capital deficient countries. Non-economic arguments. National defense argument. The policy of protection is supported on the basis of argument that a country must be self-sufficient in the matters of defense production. It is risky to depend on foreign countries for the supply of raw materials. Even Adam Smith has stated that defense is better than opulence. Preservation argument. Protection is advocated to preserve the special ethos of the nation and certain classes of the population or certain occupation. Patriotism or nationalism argument. To arouse patriotism or nationalism among the people, imports of foreign goods are restricted through high import duties so that they can consume the goods manufactured within the country. Protection for less developed countries. See, protective trade policy is more useful to the developing nations, or you can say less developed countries, in the following grounds: growth of infant industries, diversification of industries, greater domestic capital formation, inflow of foreign capital, increase in government revenue, improvement in terms of trade, redistribution of factors, creation of external economies, enlargement of market, offsetting of balance of payment deficit. To conclude, this protective trade policy may be an old concept, but at the same time it is the more useful one, or you can even say it is the most useful one at the right time, because all the countries in the world, they have opened their economies. So all the countries are having free trade. So in that case, if they are having trade with protection, it will definitely help them to grow in a better way. Thank you.